Hello, everybody. How are we doing today? Hello, people. How are we doing today? I'm really sorry for keeping you waiting. How are we doing, people? But as they say, good things come to those who wait, right? So we're going to have an amazing session today. I know you are all going to love it. All right, you're all going to love it for sure. Hello, Aparna. Hello, dear. Hello, hello. Quickly tell me, how are we doing? Hello, dear. Hello. All right, all right. Today we are starting with a very important session. It's going to be a very fun and chotusa session. What we are going today is we are going to start with brainstorming session. All right, it's going to be a brainstorming session with editorials. Now, ma'am, what are we doing? Because see, if I look good, good. All right. Yes, bache, if we talk about the CLAT examination, reading comprehension is the heart of your CLAT examination. All the questions, whether it's the legal section, it's the CR, English, it all revolves around reading comprehensions, right? So if you master that skill, you are pretty much sorted, right? This is a very, very important skill for your CLAT examination. Right. Good afternoon, Daksh. Good afternoon, dear. Chaliye. So, what are we going to do in this session, bache? What are the objectives of this session? Yes. First of all, bache, we are going to read the editorials strategically, right? We are going to read these articles, newspaper articles, but we are going to do that in a very strategic manner, like you would be doing in your actual examination. Thereafter, we understand the core issues. So, it's not only about English reading comprehension, we are also understanding what are the core issues that are discussed in the editorial, right, behind the text. After that, we will learn this most essential skill of mapping arguments, right? We will understand how do we map arguments and counter argument. This is the single most important skill for your CLAT examination. Again, no matter what section you're doing, be it English, be it logical, be it legal, you need to map what are the argument, what are the counter argument. Thereafter, we will understand, we will learn, bache, this very important skill of separating material facts from background information. See, bache, whatever piece of writing we read, there are always some material facts and there is some background information that is there just for decoration. Good afternoon, darling. Good afternoon. All right, we are going to learn how do we separate the two. After that, we'll build multi-dimensional thinking. When we read the passage, we will understand the concepts of polity, economy, law, or international relations, ethics. Right? What are the core concepts? Right? We are going to develop a holistic, multi-dimensional understanding of the issue. So it will help us with the GK, right? With the legal GK, current affairs, right? We're going to do an entire background check. After that, of course, we will master the skill of strategic reading. I know you have all understood how important and how fun this session is going to be. Of course, we're going to do all of this, but in a very fun manner. All right, chaliye, chaliye. Let's first understand what are basically CLAT RCs. Why do they take so many passages from these editorials? Let's understand. Let's get into the shoes of the examiner. Why do they give you these passages? What exactly are they trying to test? What is the philosophy of CLAT examination? My dear, CLAT passages are basically designed. They are designed to test your argument, tone, and inference ka understanding. This comes in the English section, my dear. Thereafter, when I come to the legal reasoning section, here RC are used to check your principal fact, structure, and reasoning ka knowledge. Thereafter, if I talk about GK, questions are generally asked from the background knowledge. If they pick any editorial from the Hindu or Indian Express or even print these days, they are picking a lot of articles from there. So they want to check your background knowledge of the issue. They want to check the core let's say information. Sometimes it is hidden in the passage, but again in the recent year we saw there were also some questions that were not mentioned in the passage directly. You had to use external knowledge. Thereafter, critical reasoning, again, they test you on assumption, reasoning, and conclusion. Now, once you've understood this conclusion thing, beta, there are so many question stem that you can do. Once you know conclusion, you can do assumption, you can do inference, you can do strengthening, weakening, like a cakewalk, right? So, we are going to touch upon all these things. How? We are not understanding the theory. What we'll rather do is we'll practice directly with the passages, with the editorials, right bache? Before we come to the editorial, let me quickly tell you the first reading principle. Whenever you read any piece of written, let's say, essay, bache, you always read it in some steps. Step 1, step 2. When we are doing the first reading, when we are reading the passage for the first time, these are the things we should be able to find. What is the issue? What is the controversy? What is the author's position on this? Is the author against it? Is the author in favor of this? Or is the author taking the middle ground? This should be clear. This should be crystal clear in the first reading. After that, why is this issue relevant today? Why are we discussing right now? That should be clear. Thereafter, who are the stakeholders involved? We are going to think about that. And again, most important, we will map the passage. All right, dear, chaliye. I hope these are the things that we will be doing in the first reading. When I read the passage for the first time, I need to do these things. Okay, find the issue, the core issue, find the author's position. After that, who are the stakeholders involved? Why is this relevant right now? And I will map the passage. How will I map the passage? Three. I will map the passage in three things. What are the facts? What is my author's opinion? Right, bache? What are the facts? What is my author's opinion? Plus, what is the evidence? And the evidence coupled with opinion is my author's argument. Right? You should be able to find these out in the first reading, my dear. Chaliye, this is the reading comprehension. I'll get aside. This is the editorial from The Hindu. I think it was yesterday. Chaliye, let's read it and then we will start with our brainstorming. Chaliye, let's read it quickly, everybody. Yes, people, are we done reading? I think that was sufficient time. If you're watching the recorded lecture, you can pause here and read. Chaliye. There is another part to it. Let's quickly read this as well, and then we'll start analyzing and brainstorming. Very good, very good. But you read this part as well. Very good. Chale, are we done? Are we done reading? I think that was sufficient time for this short passage. Yes, people, let's start discussing. All right, all right, all right. Great. So tell me, after reading this whole entire editorial, tell me what is the main issue here? What is the heart of this controversy? What is the issue here? Very good, everybody. Now tell me, what is the issue here? Very good, very good. Tell me quickly, people. Don't look here, okay? This is just an example. Tell me, what is the central thesis of this passage? What is the author arguing? Tell me quickly, people. What is the author arguing here? Once we read the passage, we should be able to tell that very quickly. Yes, everybody, tell me. What is it that my author is arguing here? Tell me quickly, people. Tell me quickly. No answer. I heard so many done, ma'am. Now no answer. Where's the answer? If you're done, people, where's the answer? Chale, let's read it together quickly and then we'll see where we go. Okay, let's read it together very quickly. Daksh says Editorial argues about transparency because recent stay in censorship on certain films. Okay, Daksh, when you say argues about transparency, but say, I don't know what you're trying to say here. Procedural reform in India's film certification. Very good, very good. Daksh, you are almost there, bache. Just make your answer a little more precise. Okay, correct the framing of your sentence. Very good. All right. So one person says procedural reforms. What about procedural reforms? Is the author suggesting that? Is author against it? Okay, one person says the arbitrary regulations imposed on freedom of expression and questioning about its transparency. Absolutely wonderful. What's your name, dear? What's your name? Very good, very good. This is like close to perfect answer that I was looking for. Very good, very good. Misfit. What's your name, dear? Is that your name? All right. Chale, let's quickly read this together and then we will have some discussion on the pointers that we mentioned. Yes, very good. Yes, chale. See, what does the author say? We won't read it word by word, rather, we'll go idea by idea because you have read it once already. So, in the starting, the author is simply saying that, all the films that are either controversial politically or they involve some controversial figure, political figure, they usually stop their release or they try to prevent it or they do some drama over there. Oh, she's Rishpan. All right, Rishpan. All right. Chale, then of course he gives some examples for that okay, this was the film with which it happened, then the other thing, then the author says, first he gives the example of this film called Parakashthi, which was a historical fiction, right? And why was it in controversy? Because of its anti-Hindu agitation, right, in the Tamil Nadu. And the Jan Narayan, another let's say movie which was featuring an actor politician called Vijay. Now, both of these examples the author is giving, right? Then the author tells you how their releases have heightened the need for a procedural reforms in India certification process. But see, a lot of you told me, ma'am, the core issue is transparency of film board or reforms in Indian certification. But say, what about that? Is the author arguing for it? Is the author suggesting that? Is the author against that? Give me a complete answer, people. Give me a complete answer. I'm not asking for a theme कि मुझे broader theme बताओ. No, I'm asking for the author's argument. So you tell me the author is arguing for it. All right, perfect. So from here it is the opinion of the author, right? Which author is, how do we map this passage, bache? In these few lines the author gives an opinion, then he is giving evidence. What is the evidence? Two examples that, see, look, these are the films, I will prove my point using these. Chale, then he explain it in detail. What was the case with Parakashta? How did so and so thing happen, right? And how does it show the current reality? How does it show the status quo? After that, it talks about what should be done, right? He tells you there is some suggestion that the author makes here. Chaliye. After that, if I come to this particular part of the passage, here he talks about another example. There he talks about Parakashtha, whatever the name was. Here he talks about another film, right? And then he talk what happened to so and so. After that, here author gives lot of opinions, right, people? So this is how we kind of read this passage, right? Then the author talks about these rules, the author talks about the decision that came. Also, you ask yourself, is the author for this decision? Does he say, oh, Madras High Court has done a commendable job? Or is the author somewhat questioning whether this decision was right or wrong? You will tell me now. All right, people, this is how we have mapped this passage. Chaliye. Yes, all of you have already answered me. At the heart of the passage are the issues of film certification process is arbitrary. This is what the author is saying, that whatever happens over here, this happens very arbitrarily. There has to be some transparency over here. After that, it threatens the creative freedom. This is exactly what the author says. The author says the role or the purpose of these certifications is to make sure that the films are, all right, they don't harm the public order. However, this should not stifle creativity, right? This should not stifle the creative freedom that the artists have. After that, it also talks about the economic harm that happens to the producers or distributors of the film that is made. So these are the core issues at the heart of this passage. Chaliye. What is the main claim here, bache? What is the main claim here? This is how we map the argument. Main claim is the ad hoc certification process which undermines the free expression and it harms the film industry. Quickly tell me, how does it harm the film industry? Yes, everybody. The core issue is how the arbitrary, random process of certification undermines free speech, expression, creative freedom. That is fine. How does it harm the film industry? Tell me in the chat very quickly. How does this harm the film industry? How does that happen? Tell me quickly. Yes, Daksh, Rishparna, and everybody else watching. How does this arbitrary mechanism harm the film industry? Tell me quickly. Yes, everybody. No answer, people. We have 15 people watching and no answer. How does it harm the film industry? But say it harms the film industry. But say here we map the passage. Go ahead and tell me. Yes, everybody. I have already told you where they're talking about. Very good, very good, very good. Yes, Miss Bakshi, and very good, very good. Aparna, yes, dear, yes, yes. Free expression is something we have already discussed. So, the major harm it causes to the film industry is that economic losses are incurred by the distributors and the producers and makers of the film. Very good, very good. Now, this is the core argument, bache. This is exactly how you map the passage. Whenever you map the passage, this is exact. Uh, Yes, very good, Daksh. Very good, very good. All right, this is the main argument. This is the heart of the passage. Then comes the supporting argument. How does it happen? Supporting arguments will explain the why of this. है ना बच्चे? This will explain the why of this. Very good, Rishparna. Oh, very good, dear. Chaliye. What are the supporting arguments? That there are excessive cuts, which leads to suppression of historical narrative. There are last minute intervention, which are very arbitrary, they are very random. After that, economic losses are incurred by the producers, by the makers of the film. Then of course rules allow power but misuse is unreasonable. Yes, I know you, the chairman has some power, but then he should use it in a responsible manner that does not stifle the creative autonomy of the artist. This is the supporting argument. Now what are the evidence that the author is giving? Tell me quickly, what are the evidence that my author is giving to prove these points? What are the evidence? Tell me, everybody. What evidence is my author giving us to prove his point? Yes, he gives the evidence of this Parakashti case, the film, then the Jannarayan case where the actor was involved, and the court intervention. The author says even the court intervention did not really give relief to the artist, but rather it leaned towards or for very good, Daksh. Very good, Aparna. Very good. Lovely, lovely. Now we have understood the entire editorial. Now let's look at it from a legal lens, right? Let's look at it from the legal lens, from the legal perspective. Now, but you see, whenever you read an editorial, you are not reading it passively. Acha theek hai, maza aa raha hai, let me read it. No, not like a storybook. How do you read it? Once you understand the core issue, you've understood the argument, you've understood supporting argument and evidence. For CLAT examination, I will not stop there. I will go a step further and I will analyze it from different perspective. First, for example, the legal layer. Once we read this passage, yes, very good, Aparna. Yes, very good. So after reading this passage, what are the important legal concepts that comes to my mind? First is Article 19(1)(a), which talks about freedom of speech. Yes, everybody, this is your homework. You're gonna have a great look, a great read of these, right? So first one, of course, is Article 19(1)(a). If you know, tell me in the chat what does this article talk about exactly. Thereafter, Article 19(2), that talks about reasonable restrictions on your freedom of speech, right? Am I free to speak anything I want? Well, yes, but not at the cost of someone else's right, not at the cost of public order and national security. That I cannot do, right? So this also becomes very important. A question may be asked from here, right? After that, there are some statutory laws. For example, the Cinematograph Act, the certification rules of 2024, the judicial aspect. What are the important judgments relating to these issues? After that, the Madras High Court order that was also referred to in the passage. I'll go and take a quick summary of it maybe. Thereafter, what is due process and judicial review. All right. Now, since we are on YouTube, we don't have that sort of time. If you come in our live batches, if you join our batch, I will do this for you. Okay. All this you have to do in your homework. However, if you join our batches, I will be doing this for you. I will explain you what is this Article 19(1), 2 and everything. All the judgment that are important from this perspective. What is the Certification Act of 2024? But if you feel, ma'am, I don't want to join the batch, I will do the extra hard work, definitely read about these. But say why? Because once we read the passage, we have to do it in a very holistic manner. Perfect. Chale. Now tell me what is the tone of this passage that you just read? Shall I take you back once? Okay, let me take you back for 5 seconds, okay? Everybody, 5 seconds, quickly tell me the tone of this passage. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Chale. What is the tone? Yes, what is the tone of this passage, everybody? All right, Daksh says the tone is critical. All right, all right. Yes, what else? Very good, very good. Yes, yes, we can say that. We can say that. It is alarmist, yes, because he is pointing out the flaw and the need to act. Because the author is time and again saying that we need the reform, we need some transparency. Very good. Analytical and critical. We won't really call it analytical there because he's not really analyzing sides, right? Critical, yes, yes. Very good, very good. Yes, you can say it's cautious and critical because yes, he's not saying that okay, you should not let's say certify the pura certification board ही हटा दो, what is the need, give the freedom to everybody. Yes, what is the difference between critical and analytical? Okay, Daksh, note it. We will, examine it in great detail when we come up with the tones of the passage, right? We'll learn that in detail, but I'll give you a quick example, a quick, let's say, explanation. Critical is when you are criticizing something, analytical is when you have a core issue, you're analyzing it from different perspectives, right? For example, this is the perspective of state, this is the perspective of the artist, this is the perspective of me as an audience, this is the perspective, when you're analyzing an issue from various perspective. Now one thing to understand here is analytical is a neutral tone, beta. Analytical is a neutral tone, right? What you can do is you can also watch my session that I've taken on tones of the author. You will have a better understanding, and anyway we will come up with new sessions as well. Chale, perfect. Now tell me, what was the purpose of this text? Everybody, tone and purpose, these two questions every year you're gonna get, guaranteed. Chale, what was the purpose of this text? Tell me quickly, what was the purpose? Yes, everybody. Charlie, till the time you're answering, let me just tell you now. See, today we read this editorial from The Hindu, but you did it with me. So we did the entire analysis and brainstorming together. But, ma'am, what if I'm doing it alone? What if I'm doing it at my home? And what if I have not joined the batch? Then how can I do it? Very easy, bache. If you're doing it by yourself, if you, let's say, if you very good, Daksh, very good, very good. Let's say if you are thinking to not buy the course and do this analysis or brainstorming by yourself, then how can you do that? Let me tell you quickly. Very good, very good, yes, very good. Chale, how would you do that if you're doing it at home by yourself, bache? You read this editorial, right? This is your The Hindu newspaper. Pardon this pathetic drawing of mine. Okay, let's say this is the editorial that you're reading. How would I do this analysis at home by myself? Look, bache, first of all, you have to summarize. You have to summarize what is the core issue, what are the laws behind it, important laws, let's say some important articles or some important judgments, to draw attention to the regulation. Very good, Aparna, absolutely perfect, yes, lovely, great. After that you have to analyze the core argument, beta. What is the author saying, right? Chaliye, what are, let's say, the contrary opinions, right? What are the counter arguments? All of that you'll understand. After that, what are the institutions involved? For example, here we talk about the CBFC. Tell me the full form of CBFC. Who is the current, let's say, chairperson of CBSC? Daksh, that is all right. That is all right. But what we are doing here is that we are trying to understand, we are trying to get into the psychology of the examiner. If the examiner read this passage, what questions can he ask? Now, if you feed this to ChatGPT and ask it to create question, what's happening is you are outsourcing the thinking part to ChatGPT. कि भाई तू सोच क्या question आने वाले हैं. Don't do that, बच्चे. Don't do that, right? Do as much thinking, as much reasoning, as much prediction calculation as you can by yourself, right? We don't want to outsource our work to ChatGPT, right? We have to think, we have to analyze, right? This is precisely how you will get into NLS Bangalore, not by outsourcing your work to ChatGPT. All right, bache. So whatever institutions are involved, for example, Madras High Court, who is the current Chief Justice of Madras High Court, right? So all the institution, let's say you read a passage on Venezuela versus US. So what are the institutions involved? Whether it's UN, whether it's, let's say, UNFC, all the institutions that are involved, just look where are the headquarters, who is the chief or chairman currently. All right, such questions are very common in your All right, all right. Such questions very common in your LAT examinations, UTM, CT, CLAT, everywhere. So whenever you read a passage, yes, you also look what are the institutions mentioned, where is the headquarter, who is the current chief, right? And very important, if it is an international institution or organization, then you will give special emphasis to any Indian who is involved with it. I'll give you an example. I think it was back in 2023 or 22, I don't know. So there was this war going on between Israel and Palestine. And so I knew one thing for sure, that this African country has dragged Israel to the International Court of Justice. Definitely, there will be one question on who is the Indian judge over there. And the question did come. So always remember, if there is any institution mentioned there, especially if it's an international organization, look for any Indian who is involved there. Right? After that, vocabulary. Definitely, you will get to know lots of new words. Vocabulary, pe we have done a session already. How do we approach this? Meaning, look for the meaning. Context, how do you use it in a sentence? Then five synonym and five antonym. All right, people, this is how we are going to approach vocabulary. एंड देन पॉसिबल एमसीक्यूज. ऐसे दक्ष बोल रहा था ना, मैम मैं चैट जीपीटी को दे देता हूँ. वी डोंट डू दैट. We will think ourselves, yeah, what are the possible MCQ that the examiner can ask, right? Perfect. This is precisely how you can do it at home by yourself. And of course, if you're joining our batches, we'll be doing it together. Chale. And I will be making these MCQs for you then. You don't have to make the MCQs by yourself if you are reading them with me. Chale. Based on it, let's do some couple of teeny tiny cakewalk kind of questions. Chale. First question, everybody. Given the explanation that I've given right now, these should be very easy for you. This should be a cakewalk. Chale, bache, who will answer the first question? Who will answer the first question? Yes, people, I don't think we need that sort of time. We have already discussed it multiple times. Very good, everybody. Very good. Lovely. Yes, it has to be B. Why? Because yes, it is critical and it's reform oriented, right? It highlights the systemic arbitrariness. Chale. Question two, everybody. Let's come to question two now. What does very good, very good, smart kids. A किसने लिखा है? No, no. Everybody is saying B. All right. Chaliए. Yes, who will answer this question now? Second question. Again, very easy. Easy peasy question. I've already got an answer. Very good, Pritha. Very good. Lovely, lovely, lovely. See, such easy questions I've gotten because it was a short session and I didn't want to dishearten you all. I've gotten very easy questions this time. But again, as we move forward, we'll increase the level of questions. Chaliye, this one, who will answer? Yes, everybody. I'm getting lots of C's, and I wonder whether it's for the third question or is it for the second one. People, please write the question number also when you answer, okay? Yes, everybody. Yes, people, give me the answer. I don't think we need that sort of time here. Okay, I'm getting lots of C's here. C, C, C. Yes, very good, very good. Yes, yes. The correct answer here is C. Lovely. Chale, the fourth question. Let's answer the fourth question now. Yes, everybody, answer the fourth question. Yes, everybody. Very good, very good. Yes, yes. C is the right answer. Very nice. All right, all right. So these are all the questions that we have here. All right. Okay, let me ask you one more question. Can you tell me what is the body that is responsible for distributing or assigning certifications in India to the films? What is the body? Answer quickly. If you take more than 5 seconds, I would assume that you're Googling the answer or chat GPT. Yes, everybody. What body is responsible for that? Give me the full form. Give me the full form. Yes. Who said CBEC? CBFC. Yes. Give me the full form, everybody. Give me the full form. Great. And I would be, yes, very good, very good. And I would be beyond impressed if somebody give me the name of the chairman also. If somebody gives me the name of the chairman as well, I would be beyond impressed. Aura plus 1,000 for the person who answers this. Chal, theek hai, let's do it in your homework. All right? It's your homework to go and answer that. Check that. Write it somewhere. I hope you're all making your notes somewhere. So add it there. All right, everybody. Charlie, I think this is it for the session. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. And now we'll meet in the next class. Do we have any doubts? Very good, Miss Bakshi. Absolutely right. Yes. Very good. Very good. Lovely. All right, then. I'll see you in the next class, everybody. See you all. Bye bye.